Today, I want to share with you the fascinating story of Malcolm X. Before the world knew him as Malcolm X, he was just Malcolm Little. And Malcolm was the definition of a distracted youth. Brilliant mind, sharp tongue, natural leadership aura, but misdirected energy. He lived fast, nightclubs, hustling, street crime, drugs, gambling, and validation from the wrong crowd. You name the rest. You know them. He once even admitted that he felt alive in noise. He claimed that stillness made him anxious, silence made him uncomfortable, and I understand why. You know why? Because silence forces you to meet yourself, and that's what many youth run away from: the meeting with yourself. The day it all collapsed. Chaos always has an expiration date. Unfortunately for some, it expires with them. But for some, God delivers them when there is still time. That's more like my case, but that's a story for another day. Malcolm was arrested, sentenced to prison. A young man whose life was built on movement, who loved the drama, now trapped in stillness. No clubs, no streets, no distractions, just four walls looking at him. At first, he resisted the silence. He got angry, bitter, restless. But prison does something most environment cannot do. It removes your distractions until you are forced to confront your emptiness. I just wish you don't reach that state. One day, Malcolm encountered inmates who were deeply disciplined, mentally and spiritually. They spoke differently. They carried themselves differently. They read constantly. They even debated ideas. Malcolm realized that these people were imprisoned physically, but intellectually and spiritually, they were alive. This disturbed him because he realized that, hey, he was free on the street, yet mentally imprisoned. These guys are imprisoned physically, but mentally and spiritually they are awakened. That realization marked the beginning of Malcolm's reawakening. Malcolm began to read obsessively. He read history, he read philosophy, he read religion. Will you wait until that happens to you? Malcolm read politics, identity, power structures. He copied the entire dictionary by hand just to discipline his mind. Can you imagine that? A man once addicted to nightlife, now addicted to knowledge. That was not behavior change. That was spiritual awakening. Because spiritual awakening often begins with identity questioning, purpose seeking, consciousness expansion. In prison, Malcolm discovered three truths that I want to share with you today. One, he was more than his past. He realized that his mistakes are chapters, not his destiny. Number two, his voice carried influence. He realized he could awaken others through speech. The third thing, he realized his pain had assignment attached to it. His chaotic past gave him credibility with the lost. He could reach people polished leaders could never reach. Purpose was hidden inside his brokenness. When Malcolm left prison, he did not return to chaos. He returned with clarity, discipline in speech, precision in thoughts, commanding presence. People who knew the old Malcolm were shocked because they understood this was not behavior reform. This was identity transformation. He had encountered himself spiritually. This is what happens when you encounter yourself spiritually. Years later, Malcolm traveled to Mecca. There he witnessed something that shattered his previous worldview, something that challenged his status quo. He saw people of all races united spiritually, eating together, praying together, living as equals. You see, it expanded his consciousness further. He realized that truth was deeper than ideology. He realized that truth was deeper than anger, deeper than division. That particular pilgrimage refined his spiritual maturity. You see, he evolved again. Because awakening is not a moment. It is a continuous unfolding. There is no time when you say, yes, I am finally awakened. No, it is a continuous unfolding. What can we learn from the life of Malcolm X? You see, Malcolm X's life screams one message, and that is distraction hides destiny. When the devil wants to destroy a great person, he distracts the person from the real thing. You see, let me decode it a little bit for you. One, noise can delay purpose. You see, the clubs, the trends, the endless scrolling, they keep you busy but not aligned. Number two, chaos can become a classroom. You see, prison became Malcolm's university of consciousness. Your pain can become your awakened ground. Learn from it. Number three, stillness. When I talk of stillness, I mean silence. Calmness is where identity is discovered. Malcolm discovered himself when distractions were removed. You see, many youths of today, they fear silence. You know why? Because they fear confronting their emptiness. They are scared. The fourth is that knowledge activates spiritual awakening. You see, the reading expanded Malcolm's mind beyond his environment. Information can actually liberate consciousness. You see, Malcolm's greatest transformation was invisible. You see, from reaction to reflection, from anger to articulation, from chaos to clarity, from lost to being assigned. That is spiritual awakening, not mystical light, but identity alignment. I come to realize that many youths today are not lost because they lack talent. They are lost because they are overexposed to distraction, endless entertainment, endless comparison, endless stimulation, but no inner encounter. Malcolm found purpose in the prison cell because distractions were stripped away. The question for you today is, must life imprison you before you meet yourself? That's a question. You see, or can you awaken consciously without collapse? You see, Malcolm X did not find purpose in comfort. He found it in confinement. He did not discover himself in noise. He discovered himself in silence. And sometimes, you know, the greatest spiritual awakening begins when life removes everything you used to escape yourself. Everything that you use to run away from the truth. Life removed them away and exposed you to your emptiness. You see, you have the chance now. You don't need to be in prison to realize that. But I'll tell you something very funny. You see, when God knows that you have been called for greatness and you are not listening, He's talking and you are not listening, He will create a prison for you. He will certainly create a prison for you. He did that to so many people in the past. He did that to Malcolm. You don't need to be imprisoned for you to come to terms with yourself and discover that emptiness and focus. A lot of noise Sometimes this noise, they come in form of learning. You attend conferences to conferences, seminars to seminars, always packing your head, church programs to church programs, all the church programs you attend, all the seminars you attend, all the conferences you attend. You put a lot of information in your head, no time for quietness, no time for you to be quiet and try to ask yourself, what am I doing with all this accumulated knowledge? Sometimes they appear like investment, but they are all distractions. I pray you find that calmness, you find that peace in silence, so you don't have to be imprisoned, for you to discover purpose. Have a nice day.